move
Okay.
on to Led Zeppelin, best and worst.
The best and worst Led Zeppelin albums. Folks, if you remember in recent times, we here at D Podcast talked about the best and worst AC/DC albums.
Oh yes,
And
and you remember that.
AC/DC, yes, is my favorite band of all time. Led Zeppelin is close. They're not, I don't know if they're probably tied for second with a few others. They've got some really, really good ones, but they have less good ones than AC/DC to me. But still, and they're still an iconic band, and they were a big pioneer in what later became heavy metal, which is very popular in modern day times, not as much today as it was, 10, 15 years ago and in the 90s, of course. But yeah, Led Zeppelin, they were very, very iconic in their day and today even.
Yeah, I mean, from listening to their music, honestly, it's not like, Kiss or anything like that. It's more
No.
like kind of more of a rock type of thing, and not like just screaming and tongues blaring and just like hitting the guitars down, that type of thing. It's more like
Huh.
like
Well,
just stringing the guitar like as hard as they can. It's more like they actually like wanted a groove and wanted like a beat to their music, I guess.
yes. There was definitely a lot of screaming vocals though in Led Zeppelin. Don't kid yourself.
I mean,
And
of course, but a lot less than like what Kiss does or whatever.
I don't even know if Kiss did much. I don't listen to them much.
Yeah, I don't either. They're a little.
They're out there.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. But anyway, we'll go.
But
there maybe one day. But
yes.
anyway,
So
who are the band members? Like when did they get started, and who are the band members of Led Zeppelin? So just in case the audience who are listening to this podcast don't know, who are the people and their
so
start date?
the main man behind Led Zeppelin that everyone thinks of is Jimmy Page, the guitarist. He is famous for playing a lot of different guitars through a lot of different amplifiers with a lot of different effects. And if people are like, I want to get that Jimmy Page tone, but that is so many different tones. It's not one thing. So it's more of a song specific type of tone. I'd say it's got a lot of the fuzz in it. For those of you who play guitar, definitely want to put a fuzz pedal in there. Something with humbucker pickups. I would say for earlier stuff, go with something like a Fender Deluxe Reverb maybe, or what's another good one? Fender Hot Rod type of amp, one of those. The Coupe de Ville, maybe even a Blues Junior would be good, That's not what he used, but the stuff that Jimmy Page used is so rare, and there's only like 10 of them in existence or something. It's ridiculous. So, as far as amps go, he played mainly a Gibson Les Paul. Those are easy to find if you can afford them. And in the beginning, he played a Telecaster known as the Sun Dragon, I think. And there's a story behind that, but that is beyond the scope of our episode today. Next, we have Robert Plant, the vocalist, who definitely did some screaming. He did some very soulful screaming, like
Isn't that the guy that blew his like voice out?
I don't think so. I've never heard of that.
Okay. I might be thinking of the wrong guy.
You might be. That's interesting. I don't think Robert Plant damaged his voice. He just does a lot of yelling in some of those songs. A lot of that. Oh, baby, baby, yeah, take me there.
Yeah.
Love, that kind of stuff. Um, very, very psychedelic. Uh, but he does his job well. Then we have John Paul Jones, who's probably my favorite bass guitar player,
And he was
even
also
over
in a he was
Cliff
also in a,
Williams.
and who was also in a Brady Bunch episode. So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I'm sure you did know that,
Oh,
though.
I
But
did. That's why I said it. And
that's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out.
yeah, it's hilarious because they keep on saying John Paul Jones, John Paul Jones, John Paul Jones. You just keep on saying it, and it's
Wow.
hilarious. There's been memes about that, but yeah.
Huh.
Anyway,
So, yeah, he's got a very distinct bass guitar tone, and it really drives the sound with Jimmy's guitar, unlike AC/DC, where it's like 90% guitar or maybe 80% guitar, then 20% bass. It's probably a good 50-50 mixture for Led Zeppelin, and it creates a very unique sound, and it really works. And then we have the almighty John Bonham, who is an amazing drummer. They were all amazing. All four of them were very talented musicians, and they all came together and they created something ridiculously amazing that is barely topped by anything in the world. So John Bonham unfortunately passed away in 1980. I forget how he died, but he was a great drummer. If you really want to hear how good of a drummer he is, listen to the song on my favorite album, which we'll talk about in a bit. And I will not name it for that reason, for the element of surprise. Now,
in dead ass deed. Actually, yeah.
listen to Moby Dick.
I was thinking about another guy. My apologies. Anyway,
That's okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, listen to the Moby Dick song if you want to hear John Bonham. And now let's dive right into our favorite and least favorite albums.
Indeed. What's your
My-
favorite Led Zeppelin album?
My favorite Led Zeppelin album is Led Zeppelin 2. That's a simple name, but not a simple album.
Oh no.
I, as a matter of fact, own a vinyl copy of it from the early 1970s.
Is
So,
it original?
sadly, yes. Well, it's an original 70s release. It's not a launch year. It's not like from 1969 when it came out, but it's from the right time frame. So it's the same mixing. I won't get too much into music production stuff and remastering, but it's the original mixing, unremastered. It's pure. It sounds really good. It sounds better than any version on Spotify or iTunes I've ever heard. So
Yeah. So, why is this your favorite one, other than the Moby Dick song in there?
well, the Moby Dick song is one reason. That is one of the catchiest guitar riffs I've ever heard in my entire life.
And it's just
In,
instrumental, right? Or is there singing in there?
Moby Dick is instrumental, actually.
Ah.
Moby Dick is, yeah, it's only an instrumental song, but it's a good one. It has a very catchy guitar riff in it. Listen to it to see what I'm talking about. It's in drop D tuning, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Also known as no, never mind. I was about to say something false.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. So
drop-
You corrected
yes.
yourself just in time.
I taught myself. Drop D tuning, folks. That is what you need to play on your guitar to play the riff. Now, moving on. The title track, or no, excuse me, the first track, there is no title track on this. First track on the album is Whole Lotta Love, which is probably my favorite Led Zeppelin song ever. I first heard it actually on a roller coaster that you would have made the Trump China face on for sure. Um,
is this the music one from Universal?
no,
Oh.
this is good guess. No, there was what was it called? I think Hard Rock Cafe had a theme park, and they called it the Hard Rock Theme Park. It was in Myrtle Beach,
Ah, well,
and
that's why I've never heard of it.
it then it changed to something else, and then it just shut down. It didn't last long for some reason. I thought it was a great park, and I wished I could see it again, but
They probably didn't get enough um, people in the park, probably
I guess
visitors.
it's kind of hard to get to, I guess. But yeah, it's they had a ride based on Led Zeppelin, and I forget what they called the ride, but they played this Whole Lot of Love song, and I just remember, waiting in line and going on the ride and just hearing the down 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 and it was just all exciting, and I was like, man, that sounds so good. This is a great song. I like it. And that was when I became a fan of Zeppelin. And I've been working on trying to produce a guitar cover of it, but it's a lot trickier than it is for AC/DC covers. Jimmy Page guitar tone's harder to nail. So look out for that one day. Moving on, we have actually, I will mention that is a bit of a long song. It's got a middle section that's very freestyle, experimental, and it sounds very trippy. You'll think you were tripping on acid or something.
Yeah, this one's
That might have
5.5
been
minutes.
Okay, so you looked it up.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have it
Well,
up
I
now,
see it
yeah.
here. I see it here on the album too. Yeah, 5 minutes and 33 seconds. Anyway, moving on, we have a Heartbreaker is another really well-known one. If you don't know what it is, you've probably heard it before somewhere. It would be one that you listen to and it's like, oh, that's that song. Yeah, that one.
Give us like a sneak preview, but keep it like under 5 seconds.
Okay, it's like down, down, da, 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 down, ba, da, 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 down, da, da, da. That one.
I think I recognize it.
You've heard it,
I
I'm
think I've
sure.
heard it, yeah. I just,
Uh,
yeah.
I played it on the guitar many times, so maybe you heard it that way.
Oh, yeah, that is probably why. That's probably how.
We got
Like, I was looking through the, like, all the list of songs on this album, and I saw Heartbreaker, and I was like, I think I've heard this song before.
yeah.
Like, I remember this song, I just can't put my thumb on it, you know? It's real... I, I, yeah, I wish I could remember it, but it's light, maybe, but not fully, which is unfortunate. But anyway, continue.
All right, so those are the two really, really big ones for me. There are some other really good ones that are maybe it might be up for debate, but to me they're not as well known. Like the Lemon song, it's funny. It's got a bit of a sexual innuendo going on there.
As do most rock songs.
Not quite as bad as AC/DC. They
Oh yeah.
are very, very good at that, which is part of why they're awesome. It's hilarious.
And the Beatles, they love their little messages of sex and all that.
Oh, yes, they really do. But
John
then
Lennon
we have
insisting on all of it because he thinks he's bigger than Jesus, even though he's not.
even though he's not. But
And
now
he's dead.
we go back to Led Zeppelin, yeah. So we've got a living, loving maid. In parentheses, she's just a woman. I don't quite get the meaning of this one, but it's very catchy. I doubt you've heard it, but listen to it. It's a really good one. Bring It On Home is kind of a cool, like a bluesy type of hobo vibe. It's like do 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 do. Yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
watch this train go down the track.
Whenever I think of that song, I think of Bring It On, the cheerleading movies.
It's not related.
That'd be
And then
hilarious if that was
yes,
in the
it would.
movie. But anyway.
Then it turns into but it's a good one. And other than that, there's a few other songs on here that I won't get into as much because I don't like them as much as the others. But this is definitely the album that has the most songs that I think are amazing, and they're all like really, really, really good. It's like, to me, their best songs ever. Although they have a few really, really equally good ones scattered around other albums, but this one definitely has the bulk of them. So that is why I pick Led Zeppelin 2. Now, because it's ancient, I'm going to put it back in its plastic bag here and keep it safe until I want to play it on my turntable again.
Yes. Boom.
So, what's your favorite, Chief? Tell us.
Oh, you're gonna be shocked
I might.
that I know about this album.
Okay.
It is Led Zeppelin 3.
Okay. I'm not totally shocked that you know about it.
You know
I think
why? What?
because it has the Immigrant Song on it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that was the obvious reason
I mean, yeah.
that you picked it.
Look, okay.
So it's a great song.
It is. It's a fantastic song. And it doesn't have every Led Zeppelin guy credited on it, unlike what was that song again? Your favorite song? Oh, Whole Lot of Love. Yeah. Doesn't have every guy on there like a whole lot of love, but
Yeah.
I swear this song is like the catchiest thing. One of the catchiest things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, they.
Like
we come
that,
for the land of the ice and snow with the hot spring.
Okay,
I forget
let's
how
stop.
it goes, but yeah.
we'll get demonetized. I'm sorry, but yeah. So this is a great song. It's literally this like the same thing over and over again, like 4 times, but I love it. It's great. Like
Yes.
I think I actually got into Led Zeppelin from the Immigrant Song.
Really.
And yeah, and I heard the first time the Immigrant Song, Honest and for True, through Did Ass Movie. What a surprise.
Where else?
Yeah, I mean, where else?
I mean, it's a given.
Yeah, and it was Thor Ragnarok, and
Okay.
I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell is this song? This is like, I gotta find this out. So I searched it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the song? Yes. And unlike most people, I guess, I like to listen to songs for like 6 months at a time. Like if I get something if I like a song, I'll listen to that and only that for like, I don't know, 2 months at a time, I guess, just like over and over and over again. It's just that one song till it like drives me nuts. And this was one of those songs, and it was apparently it was written by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
Yeah, they wrote a good bit of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell Robert and Jimmy, I think, did most of the writing, but they all, pitched in.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever were like a lot of these bands later on down the road where they start hating each other and shit. Like Guns N' Roses, I know they had some turmoil, and hell, even as early as Aerosmith, they had some issues. But
Led Zeppelin broke up.
Well, they ended it because the drummer John Bonham passed away, and they decided that they needed to stop. That's why they quit in 1980.
Ah, okay. Well, at least it was on, good terms and not.
Oh yeah.
It's very nice, very good. But apparently they did like some revival stuff in like 2018 and all that type of thing.
Yes. Jimmy Page, I think, is really the main guy who in modern times keeps the band name alive more than any of them. Robert Plant kind of he has mixed thoughts. He's not quite as into it at this point, but they did do a reunion tour, I think, once,
Yeah.
like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah,
But
and I'll tell you what, Jimmy Page is. I recognize this guy. I've seen him somewhere. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen him somewhere. I haven't seen him in like um, performing, but I've seen him somewhere. I can't remember what it was, but anyway.
huh.
So yeah, mostly it's because of the Immigrant Song. It's why I love Led Zeppelin 3. Might need to get a little bit more into this album, but I swear the Immigrant Song is one of my favorite songs of all time. I will listen to this song again until my ears bleed. It's such a great song.
Huh.
And yeah, there you go. Also, I recognize Jimmy Page from someplace, and John Paul Jones is from a Brady Bunch episode.
Yes.
So that's kind of hilarious. But anywho, that's all I have for Led Zeppelin 3. Sorry it was short and sweet, but it was
That's
sweet.
okay. That's okay.
Short.
So,
So what is your
my
worst Led Zeppelin album, son?
the Presence album. The Presence album.
The Presence album.
Achilles' Last Stand is okay, but it's not great. It's not something I'd, listen to consistently. The rest of them, I'm pretty sure I tried listening to just to explore the band, and I just didn't really. It's not really rock and roll to me. It's more like acoustic ballad stuff, if I remember correctly. But people like that. But to me personally, not for me. I don't really have a lot to say about it because it's not that the music is bad. It's just not the kind of music I like. And Led Zeppelin to me is a hard rock band, and this is not hard at all.
And this is Presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll give them credit. Maybe they were trying something different. I suppose that was part of it, but really, they were just. I'm not sure. They were just doing. They were doing something different here, and it was not necessarily a good thing. That was their second to last studio album, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
And yeah.
So that's really all I have to say about it. It's just meh.
Yeah, I mean, I know they did Stairway to Heaven. I've listened.
That wasn't on that album.
I know it was on the Led Zeppelin 4. Currently officially it's untitled, but people call it Led Zeppelin 4. But Stairway to Heaven was on there, and I know that song.
Yes.
But other than that, I really don't know any other Led Zeppelin. I'm kind of in the dark.
That's okay.
On Led Zeppelin, which it is, but it's unfortunate. And I want to get to know them more. Like I really want to listen to Led Zeppelin 3 more because the Immigrant Song's on it. But for now, I guess I'll take Presence as well because I mean, they seem to like strive for perfection because there's not a lot of albums that they did, and honestly, it's like they stopped like in 1980 and they didn't do a whole lot. So maybe they struck gold and got out while it's hot. Also because of the guy who passed away, but still, I think
it was more that though than anything.
Yeah, that. But honestly, even though it's very tragic that this guy passed away, I think it kind of worked in their favor because, yeah, like sometimes people are more remembering of you for the stuff you did rather than every like the most crap that you did. So I don't know.
Fair enough. So, like, yeah, the majority of their albums are pretty good. Led Zeppelin 2 being my definite top pick, and I'd say Led Zeppelin 1 being my second favorite. It's got some good ones, or either that or Led Zeppelin 4 would be my second favorite.
I would say Led Zeppelin 4 probably be my second favorite.
Yeah, that's got a. Yeah, actually, thinking about it now, it's a dead tie between 4 and 1 because 4 has Black Dog, which is one of my top 3 favorites from the band. So
my ass, son. Led Zeppelin 3 is fourth place. My ass.
Well, it has the Immigrant Song,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have any others that I seem to remember liking a lot.
My ass. It's
But
the Immigrant Song though.
that alone is good though. That
Yeah.
makes up for any shortcomings, so I'll give it respect for that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right then.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's about it for Led Zeppelin. Shall we move on to the theme park?